Yeah, DMG album been pretty good. Like I said, I played a couple songs. Like I just really started listening to them.
Boost your revenue and drive growth with Google Ads. Reach high-value customers.
I was trying to put you down, hoping that shit make you better. You can keep a city girl, I think I need me a Coretta. It's only so much I can do with your arch, I'm making take that march. Want for much, you put on your part, that's how you were from the start. I need a woman consolidate as is, somebody stand on the biz. She told me harder, she take off a wig, she heard I'm setting the key. I'm going up, I can never renege, you better put in the bid. I need a woman that comes with some motion, she nothing following the trend. I need a woman that's solid forever, what would a nigga Coretta? I need a woman that's making me better. She gotta move like Coretta. I need a woman that stay on my side. I hope she stand like Coretta. I need a woman that's fit for a king. I hope she look like Coretta. Be my slider. I buy bags inside the crib and I inspired her. She won't never need a nigga, I provide her. Go to court, she right beside me, she a rider. Babe, I never judge. Babe, came with a push. Babe, I need a crash. Babe, your skin on fudge. I kept it silver. Got your spoon on silver. I can tell you different. Most deep I get past my knees. I was trying to put you down, hoping that shit make you better. You can keep a city girl, I think I need me a Coretta. So much I can do with your arch, I'm making take that march. I'm wanting for much to play on your part, like how you did from the start. Lil' mama came in that country grammar, I got a flu out of sample. I know some women gon' move with their heart, it's only so much I can tell her. The way that you playing your role for a nigga, I think you deserve you a medal. I could've settled for a city girl, but I think I'm aiming for better. You know that it's pressure that come with this life, you know it's a whole lot. Popping the pussy to get her some cash, need her a role model. I let her take a picture by the Benz, I need me a role model. Baby, don't stop at the tip, you know that I need me the whole gobble. Shawty got buns, I pick her up like a double decker. I give her fun, so I put a vibe on the time schedule. She was my son, I put her up through the trimester. Just tell me it's real, I hope it's true by them 4 levels. I put her in Travis Scott, so I better walk like Coretta Scott. The whole be super hot, I just hold my Coretta now. I need a Coretta, making me better. Don't want no push Carrera. I need a Coretta, something like Michelle, something like Michelle. I need a Coretta, I need a Coretta, reach out, need a Coretta, I need a Coretta, need a Coretta, I need a Coretta.
The fuck is going on that?
And then I mentioned the other day that I don't think the headlines and the media optics are going to help Biden right now. Even if his policy is going in the right direction, the optics of chaos and lack of control are problematic. One of the people with this event said donors are flocking to this event due to the horror of nightly images they see on TV. So I do think they should be taking note of money has been a problem for Donald Trump. He can't pay his legal fees. Donors were running away.
Do they not remember the visuals on January 6th? Do they not remember those visuals?
I think visuals in the human, literally humans
What
look at the
clowns?
recent visions. So
These bitches are clowns, man. What clowns?
nightly image right now matters more to them than January 6th.
is ingrained in my memory, and it should be ingrained in every single person's memory in the United States of America.
Give it a rest.
More to them than January 6th.
Is ingrained in my memory, and it should be ingrained in every single person's memory.
An insurrection. Call it what it is.
what? There's a lot of parts to the
Can I
story.
just also
Yeah.
say this? Let's also remember that these kids that are protesting are kids that grew up with active fire drills. And for them to be subjected to the type of police violence that we are seeing on the nightly news. And for them to be subjected to the type of police violence that we are seeing.
You're a problem. You're a real problem.
Facts.
America is back.
Worst president of all time. Not even close.
Somehow.
If you follow any Florida blogs, you've likely seen Hood Fishing Entertainment, as he recently went viral after catching
Oh, hold up, man. You tell me fishing, dude? What? No way.
putting a gold chain around.
Shopify Point of Sale makes it easy.
No way, bro. The fishing dude? Your past will catch up with you. I don't condone violence, but your past will catch up with you. For sure.
The nickname Ra or Ra Shock, and doing the most Florida thing possible, putting a gold chain around its neck. 28-year-old Rasheen Bailey, who goes by the nickname Ra or Ra, quickly amassed a following on both YouTube and Instagram, receiving nationwide support as he caught all types of sea life, won awards, and really won over a whole community in which dreads and gold teeth aren't considered the norm, but he shined anyway. Growing up in Fort Myers, for those not from Florida, this was the city also known as Little Pakistan. While Palm Beach, Miami, and Broward County sat on the East Coast, Fort Myers laid on the west coast of South Florida. The Michigan projects would be home to Florida legend Plies, and Plies would carry the city on his back while putting it on the map.
Plies is a fucking cornball. Rat bastard paid by the Biden administration to tell lies on Twitter.
Looking at old footage of Fort Myers, it's not hard to see why Ra chose the name Hood Fishing. At 16 years old, Ra would move from Fort Myers to play football for Cape Coral High with the dreams of pursuing a football career, but the following year, his life almost ended. On July 1st, 2013, Fort Myers police were dispatched to a call for shots fired in the area of Lemon Street and Palm Ave. They drive through multiple streets before being flagged down by a then 17-year-old Ra, who said he'd been shot in the back somewhere by the Blue Store. Officers attempted to get information from Ra and his mother, who was also on the scene, but both were uncooperative. That's when Ra stated he was outside a house with a friend, and two males that he knows as Jay Riggins and Fat Sam started shooting at them. Ra took his shirt off, saying he was shot in the back while running, showing he'd been grazed by a bullet. Ra said his friend was possibly hurt but couldn't provide the address to where the shooting occurred, only saying he was outside of a white and peach colored house a block from the store. EMS arrived on scene to treat Ra's wound, as his mother explained she came to pick him up and take him to the hospital when they flagged down the officer. Locating the shooting scene, officers would find 9 shell casings from a .45 and a 10mm pistol. Ra would be escorted back to the house, confirming that's where he was shot at. Officers made contact with Jatavis Carey at the home, who said he was outside with Ra when the shooting happened. They observed Jay Riggins and Fat Sam shoot at them, and Carey stated he and Ra ran before making his way back inside the home. Ra requested to make a report and press charges. Ra and his friend later arrived at the Fort Myers Police Department to provide sworn statements, where they identified 17-year-old Javarcia Riggins and 16-year-old Jared German out of a photo lineup. Both teens would be charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without the intent to kill. Both teens would be taken to a juvenile detention facility where they'd eventually be adjudicated as adults and face upgraded charges of attempted murder. With Ra listed as a witness, it was in January of 2014 when he'd be called in to testify. Now 18 years old, Ra would state he's a junior at Cape Coral High. He'd get into his life story starting football at 5 years old and living inside Campbell Acres from 6 to 17. Campbell Acres, is a one-way in, one-way out neighborhood based around 4 streets. The hood would be known throughout the city as the Chop, and Rod would leave his hood for Cape Coral for better opportunities and to play for a better football team. Throughout his testimony, he'd have to explain how he made it to his friend's house, stating he was driven by his cousin. At first, he refused to give up his cousin's name to the courts.
And like I will say, he might do the fish and shit and post good content, but people don't know these people in real life on the internet. He done told on somebody, that shit gonna come back and bite you in your ass.
As he didn't want to involve anyone else, but the courts would persist and Rod eventually gave in. Moving on, Rod would state he was over his friends playing video games, and as it got later, they'd go out to the carport while Rod waited for his mom to pick him up in the rain. As Rod and Tavis shook hands, Rod witnessed the 2 teens approach saying, "What's up, Tavis?" before opening fire. Rod would clarify for the courts who he saw, but that he never saw an actual gun, just the fire coming from the barrel. When asked about Fat Sam, Rod would say he grew up with him, and at one point played flag football with him. He'd tell the courts he doesn't know much about him, but say his Facebook name was Bucktown German. Bucktown was another Fort Myers hood. Rod would describe a team party he was warned not to go to where he saw Fat Sam. No words were exchanged, only looks, and Rod would describe them in court as "I'm gonna kill you when I see you, I'm gonna beat you up" looks. Rod would explain he's from the Chop, while Fat Sam and Jay Riggins were from Bucktown, a rival hood. Rod would say he didn't have problems with anyone, but people he knew had problems with them and vice versa, so he was caught in the mix. Come to find out, Rod actually grew up with Jay Riggins and would go over his house a lot, which is how he came to know Fat Sam. But eventually they'd make other friends, and those friends would become enemies with others. Rod told the courts before.
Hold on, so they friends. And then they just start hanging with other people and just shoot at him randomly or something. Florida's a weird fucking place, man. A weird place. Not sure I would move down there. Good place to vacation and visit, though, for sure.
Before this incident, his house was shot up, and Jay Riggins told his mom he had nothing to do with it, but he showed the boys where he lived, and they shot it up. Rod's mom would confront Jay and Fat Sam saying she wouldn't put the police on them, but what was the problem? And Fat Sam would say it was over a girl. Fast forward to the night Rod was shot, he just so happened to be texting a girl related to Fat Sam when Fat Sam and Jay showed up. Rod would state he really grew up in Michigan where kids fought instead of shot and they just moved on. The courts would ask if the shooting had affected him, and Rod said he's cool with it. When asked if he's afraid, he'd say no, and that he actually ran into Jay and Fat Sam while they were out on bond at a movie theater and nothing happened. When asked if he's had a nightmare, he'd say no. He's never feared for his life, and if anything, he felt like it was a push to get out of Fort Myers. He'd tell the courts he'd rather have them see him on TV, wishing they could be him, but they chose the wrong thing. Little did Rod know, that's exactly what would happen. Jay Riggins would eventually plead guilty to 2 counts of attempted murder and receive a youth offender prison sentence of 4 years, followed by 2 years of probation. Jay would enter Florida State Prison in January of 2016 and be released in March of 2018, as he also received credit for his time in jail. His probation would be terminated only 7 months later, but not for good behavior.
This evening at approximately 9:30 p.m., the Lee County Sheriff's Office responded to shots fired in the Bell Tower shops. Upon arrival, our deputies observed 2 individuals that succumbed to their injuries, and 2 other individuals were transported to a local area hospital. Their injuries are unknown at this time, and they're being treated. It appears to not be a random act of violence. I can tell you the Lee County Sheriff's Office Major Crime Unit is working very, very hard. All our resources are here. So please respect that scene and give us time to get all the details together. It's very open, very active. As we get details, I will get them to you as soon as possible. But again, we're going to be working through the night. Please give us that time. And again, it does not appear to be a random act of violence.
On October 9th, 2018, Jay Riggins was eating at a TGI Fridays celebrating his mom's birthday. Jay, his mom, and his dad walked outside for a cigarette when gunfire erupted. As the smoke cleared, 22-year-old Jay and his 56-year-old father lay dead. Another woman was found shot and another suffered injuries from glass shattering, but both would survive. Fat Sam would make a mistake many young men do as they enter the system. He'd take his case to trial and be found guilty on both counts of attempted murder, leaving him with a 20-year prison sentence. An appeal would be filed stating it was a dark, rainy night on the night of the shooting. No physical evidence or forensic evidence could identify the shooters. No other witnesses were ever found in the case, and the only evidence admitted at trial was the testimony of Rasheen Bailey, aka Ra. During Fat Sam's third year in prison, Ra would attempt to retract his trial testimony, but what was done was already done, and the appeal would be denied. Hood Fishing Entertainment would start in 2020, and Ra would share his adventures to social media as over the next 4 years his brand grew, but with success comes jealousy and envy. I would receive DMs months ago asking for me to expose Ra as a snitch, but in my mind, it was pointless. He wasn't a rapper portraying a gangster. He was just a man fishing, finding his own lane. So what changed between then and now?
Rasheen Bailey is known by many as Hood Fishing on Instagram and TikTok. He's recovering after being shot multiple times in Fort Myers. Tonight, Bailey's comment section is flooded with support and people questioning why someone would shoot him. One person even wrote, "Why would bro even have enemies?"
On May 2nd, 2024, around 4 p.m., shots rang out on MLK Boulevard and Michigan Ave. Ra was driving his car when another vehicle opened fire, shooting him multiple times. The shots caused Ra to veer off the road, cross the median, and crash into a truck. Ra would get out of the car running to a bystander, asking her to call 911. Ra would then flag down officers who applied a tourniquet before he was rushed to a hospital. An official statement would be posted to Ra's YouTube channel stating he was shot 4 times and is expected to make a full recovery. But why was he shot? Was this a random act of road rage? Or was the past coming back to haunt him? See, Ra spoke his future into existence. Jay Riggins was killed before Ra ever became successful, and Fat Sam is sitting inside of a Florida prison while Ra is blowing up on social media. But there's also an entire hood called Bucktown that's watched 2 of their guys go down because of Ra. Now, did Ra snitch? At this point, that question doesn't even need an answer. But what many will say is, why does it matter? It matters because no matter how much you change your life for the better, whether you put the guns down to pick up a fishing rod or you put the drugs down to pick up a football, the people in life that don't see the greater things in life will always be looking for someone else to blame. They will envy your success, and because of their inability to achieve more, they will do what they can do to drag you back down. I'm not stamping Ra a rat.
Facts though. That's why I even watch this shit. Cause like, no matter what cause we all know dude from the internet. You know, he just posts positive, good, fishing content and stuff like that. So, we all could be like, man, that's messed up. Dude is, just a positive person. I don't know why that happened to him. It's like, man, he did some shit a couple years ago that we don't know about. And karma spun the block on him. And I ain't saying none of this shit is right, but that's reality, man. That's life. People just like to ignore the facts of life.
Because his lifestyle doesn't abide by a code. He said it back then in the courtroom he doesn't fear for his life, and he'd rather kill him with success. I will say this though, naming his brand Hood Fishing is walking a line where people can criticize him for still attaching hood to his name when he broke a code 90% of people pretend to follow. Right?
I'm glad 1090 Jake said pretend to follow, because these motherfuckers are not following that at all. 0%. Fuck is they talking about?
Himself has a criminal history, but the majority is all petty. The most serious case Ra had was for almost upping a gun on someone and chasing them down in a car. And come to find out, it was an undercover cop sitting outside his family's home. Ra could also be seen in a 2017 music video of 5150 Committee, a murderous rap group out of Fort Myers. Ra wouldn't rap, but can be seen holding an AIP in the background of the video. 2 of the rappers were killed, one is in prison for murder, and the other is now unheard of. With Ra expected to make a full recovery, the only thing he needs to do is get far away from Fort Myers. He's found his own.
Did y'all see that? Just simply like everybody that be in music videos just end up on t-shirts, bro. That shit, like, everybody be trying to take that rap shit, like, what?
5150 Committee, a murderous rap group out of Fort Myers. Ra wouldn't rap, but can be seen holding an AIP in the background of the video. 2 of the rappers.
So both the main rappers got killed. Damn.
Rappers were killed, one is in prison for murder, and the other is now unheard of. With Ra expected to make a full recovery, the only thing he needs to do is get far away from Fort Myers. He's found his own lane, and I guarantee it will be unaffected by his past.
1090 just had to do a piece on my man, though. He not even a street dude or a rapper or none of that. So I don't know what, he just must be needing content or something. But I don't know, he was in a rap video holding a gun, so I guess the video is warranted. Shit crazy, man. Stay out the streets. Shit is a joke.
For a popular rapper is facing over 60 charges after he was arrested in Cache County.
NBA YoungBoy was arrested this week at his Mill Creek home in what the Cache County Sheriff's...
What? YoungBoy facing 250 years? That's crazy as hell.
But for a popular rapper is facing over 60 charges after he was arrested in Cache County.
NBA YoungBoy was arrested this week at his Mill Creek home in what the Cache County Sheriff's Office is calling an ongoing investigation into criminal conduct.
We are learning new details about why young rapper NBA YoungBoy was arrested in Utah yesterday.
The rapper, whose real name is Kentrell Deshaun Galden, was under house arrest as he awaited trial on federal gun charges. Several agencies, including the FBI and Secret Service, executed a search warrant yesterday morning.
September 9th.
Secret Service, damn, Joe Biden sent them goons at YoungBoy, didn't
he? 19th, 2023. Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram, Utah, received a prescription called in for a 74-year-old woman named Bethel White. The physician who called provided the proper identification, but the number he called from wasn't from his pharmacy. A phone call to the suspected pharmacy would confirm suspicions. The pharmacist didn't have a patient named Bethel White, he never called in a prescription, and apparently someone's made several orders using his name that day. The prescription was for an antibiotic, as well as promethazine with codeine, a Schedule 5 controlled substance, and one of the most abused and sought after drugs in hip-hop. The antibiotic was most likely just to make the prescription less of a red flag. Law enforcement would wait in the parking lot of Reed's Pharmacy waiting for someone to pick up the order, but nobody came. That same day, Spence's Pharmacy in Logan, Utah received a call from the same suspect using the same physician's information. This time, 71-year-old Gwendolyn Cox needed promethazine with codeine. 2 weeks after the prescription was called in, a female came and picked it up, stating Gwendolyn was her grandmother. The following month, Spence's Pharmacy received a second call requesting more lean for grandma. Spence's obviously realized the 71-year-old didn't just drink a whole bottle of syrup in less than 3 weeks, so this time they requested a hard copy of the prescription with the patient, so the suspect on the phone hung up the call. Spence's Pharmacy attempted to call the number back after looking up the physician's name, only to make contact with the real physician, finding out someone's been fraudulently using his credentials. On January 17, 2024, a fraudulent prescription was called into Larry's Pharmacy in Smithfield, Utah. It was the same deal. Another elderly woman wanted lean, and when things looked suspicious, the pharmacy called the police. An agent assigned to the Cash Rich Drug Task Force would conduct the initial investigation. Obvious similarities between the reports from the different pharmacies would lead officers to devise a plan. Contact would be made, and 2 females would arrive at Larry's pharmacy to pick up the prescription. They'd be detained, and officers would smell a strong odor of marijuana coming from the Chevy Tahoe they drove in. With the females consenting to a search, marijuana flakes would be found around the interior, along with an empty handgun case for a .45 caliber 1911. They'd claim the marijuana wasn't theirs, and they were picking up a prescription for a friend that they refused to name. The 2 women would later be arrested for their role in the prescription fraud ring, and officers would discover the Chevy Tahoe they were riding in was registered out of Texas under a 24-year-old man named Kentrell Gaulden. Kentrell would be more commonly known as rap superstar NBA Youngboy. One of the task force agents would be contacted by dispatch and informed that none other than Gwendolyn Cox needed to speak with him. During the conversation, she'd state her last name was White instead of Cox, and she'd give her birth month and date, but couldn't provide the age and wouldn't provide her address. It was very clear to the agent that Gwendolyn was using a fake voice, as this old woman sounded like a much younger male from the South. She, or he, made a statement saying, "Well, I asked her to, and she said that she'll have you call me." The terminology ax instead of ask was a dead giveaway and consistent with a southern dialect from states like Texas, Georgia, and Louisiana. The following day, a person who self-identified as NBA Youngboy's business manager attempted to contact the drug task force in an effort to get the Chevy Tahoe out of the impound. During this time, the impound company suspected the vehicle may be stolen after speaking with the so-called manager, so the task force officer requested to speak directly with Youngboy. On a conference call being recorded by dispatch, Youngboy told the task force agent the females arrested at the pharmacy were family. The agent would ask about his relations to the female and if they had his permission to drive his vehicle, to which Youngboy said they did have his permission, and he asked for his vehicle back. The agent would tell Youngboy how to get his vehicle back, and the conversation would continue when Youngboy said, "Ask him about the prescription that they picked up." He paused for a few seconds before saying, "She on the fucking hospital bed. She on the hospital bed." The agent was aware Youngboy was speaking to someone else who claimed to be Youngboy's brother. The call would break up and go silent for durations of time, leading the agent to believe they were muting the call. Because Youngboy was speaking about prescriptions without being asked, showed he had knowledge of the fraudulent prescription the females attempted to pick up. It would also prove in—
Bro, this dude is a fucking dummy. Like, straight idiot. They didn't even ask him about no drugs, no prescriptions, and none of that shit. And he started talking about it. Like, they got busted, bro. Doing something illegal, and he still want the drugs. How much of a fucking addict do you have to be? Like, really? Shit is quite sad to see. Self-destructive at its best right here.
Intent, as Youngboy attempted to further the prescription fraud by stating, "She's on a hospital bed," referring to the fake patient. Youngboy would also slip up, using the word ax instead of ask, the same way the fake patient Gwendolyn did on the phone. And at this point, it would appear obvious NBA Youngboy was pretending to be a 71-year-old woman in an attempt to get lean. The drug task—
Man, what the fuck? Like I said, man, how much of an addict do you have to be? This shit is crazy. That whole little culture that they pushed on the youngest, man, that shit is killing them, eating them apart. And, you know, I went through that little culture shock, man, of the lean being cool now, but, you know, I tried it the couple times I did when I was young, and I'm like, yo, this shit just making me sleepy. Just make me want to go lay down. Like, what's the point of, you know, drinking this shit? It tastes good, but I can get shit that tastes good. You know? That shit wasn't worth it.
Task force would speak with the physician whose name was being fraudulently used, and a report for how many prescriptions were successfully picked up would be made. Ann White, Beatrice White, Caroline White, Gwendolyn White, Alice White, Francine White, Francine Taylor, and Gwendolyn Cox were all fake elderly women whose names were used to pick up different amounts of codeine, sometimes repeatedly. Surprisingly, NBA Youngboy's own name, Kentrell Gaulden, would be used with a birth year of 1953 to pick up a 7-day supply of codeine. A juvenile would be apprehended at the...
Yo, this fucking dude used his own name in a fake prescription scheme to get lean. You cannot make this shit up. You mean to tell me young kids want to be like this guy? Stay in school, man. Stay the fucking school.
The pharmacy after attempting to pick it up. Additional calls were made using Youngboy's real name and real birth date by someone in Houston, Texas. It was discovered the same white Tahoe registered in Texas that the females were arrested in could be seen in one of Youngboy's music videos. Further investigation into Youngboy was conducted after he was identified as the primary suspect. Rising from the trenches of Baton Rouge, Youngboy is documented to have lived in Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, California, and Utah. He's also currently on federal pretrial probation as he awaits trial for a federal gun charge for possession of a firearm.
This is why I stopped shopping on Amazon.
Dude got possession of a firearm, federal charges, and all that shit, and he's still just doing illegal, crazy shit, using his real name and all that. Bro, I don't fucking get it. They always make the dumbest of the race the richest. We're the only race where that shit happens.
A convicted felon. The rap star's criminal history is not only extensive, but violent. Back in 2016, Youngboy was arrested on 2 charges of murder in Louisiana as a juvenile. The charges were eventually reduced, and Youngboy would be convicted of aggravated assault with a firearm, while his second charge of attempted murder was dropped entirely. This conviction alone would make him a convicted felon. In 2018, he'd be arrested for aggravated assault and kidnapping, with the kidnapping later being dismissed. Youngboy would plead guilty to a lesser charge of simple battery, resulting in a misdemeanor conviction and 12 months of probation. In 2019, Youngboy would be arrested for marijuana in Georgia, and in 2020, he'd be arrested in Louisiana for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, distribution of marijuana, possession of a controlled substance, illegally carrying a weapon, illegal possession of a stolen firearm, and possession of a controlled substance.
So he rich as hell and still going around with stolen firearms. Yo. Has to be the dumbest rapper or entertainer I've ever seen or heard of, man. This shit is insane. And everybody just let him crash out and do stupid shit like that around him. That shit is insane. Knowing that he the breadwinner. They just let him still crash the fuck out.
In 2021, the feds would indict Youngboy for his Louisiana gun charge, and 3 years later, he'd still be on pretrial release. Youngboy has been identified by the FBI as the leader of the NBA Street Gang. The gang itself is a group of Youngboy's associates that have been classified as a gang because of their structure, affiliation, and violent behavior. Youngboy's music is heavily influenced by that behavior, as he is consistently rapping about shooting and killing people, using drugs, and having a strong dislike for law enforcement. The rap star currently resides in Huntsville, Utah, within a multi-million-dollar mansion he's named Gravedigger Mountain. With an ankle monitor, Youngboy needs approval to leave his home for any reason, to the point that it doesn't even matter if it's a doctor's appointment. All guests that enter Gravedigger Mountain also have to be approved by his federal probation before entering the property. The same suspects that would be caught up attempting to pick up fraudulent prescriptions were all on Youngboy's visiting list. On April 16th, 2024, a search warrant was executed on Gravedigger Mountain. Everyone within the mansion was detained, including Youngboy, and after being read his rights, he agreed to an interview. Youngboy was asked about the presence of firearms inside of the home. He said a gun belonging to his wife was inside, and Youngboy was asked if he ever handled the gun or if his DNA would be found on the gun. He denied that his DNA would be found, but stated 2 days earlier he had picked the gun up and moved it from an open area, placing it inside of a drawer. He'd claimed that was the only time he touched the gun, further stating his wife always has the gun within reach throughout the house. Youngboy was asked about prescription drugs in his house, and he'd state he has a prescription for promethazine. He provided the doctor's name who prescribed it and said he was local. When asked if he had any doctors in Texas, he'd say no, and continued to deny having been prescribed drugs from any other doctor. When asked about his associates picking up fraudulent prescriptions, he claimed to have no knowledge of their activities. He confirmed his association with 3 of them, and when confronted about the call with the agent, he stated he didn't remember, making suggestions the agent likely spoke with his dad. But the agent would note Youngboy has a very distinct voice and that it was in fact him on the call, as the agent later spoke with Youngboy's dad and could tell it wasn't him. Youngboy was interviewed further, but continued to be deceptive and deny knowledge of anything illegal. During the search, law enforcement found a prescription bottle inside Youngboy's bathroom within the master bedroom. The bottle was prescribed to Caroline White, one of the fraudulent names. An antibiotic would be found within Youngboy's name, but with the birth date from 1955, and another bottle of promethazine would be found without a label. A handgun Youngboy admitted of possessing would be found within the master bedroom closet with an empty magazine and 1 round loaded in the chamber. 3 more bottles of promethazine would be found inside of the home, and all electronics was seized. NBA Youngboy would be placed under arrest and charged with possession of a weapon by a restricted person, pattern of unlawful activity, 20 counts of identity fraud, 20 counts of procuring or attempting to procure a drug prescription, 20 counts of forgery, and possession of a controlled substance being marijuana or spice. Now, while it sounds like Youngboy clearly has a drug problem and was using his team to obtain them, how serious are his actual charges? For possessing the weapon and the pattern of unlawful activity, he faces up to 15 years each. Both fraud and forgery carry up to 5 years in prison, while trying to get a prescription carries up to a year. Because he faces 62 charges, NBA Youngboy is facing, at maximum, a total of 250 years. But it's highly unlikely he'd receive that sentence, as that's the max punishment on every count. What is likely to happen is the feds will indict Youngboy again for being a felon in possession of a firearm the same way they did after his arrest in Louisiana. If this happens, we can expect his pretrial release to be gone and Youngboy to be kept in a federal facility until both federal cases come to an end. The fact that he admitted he moved the gun is an admission of guilt, which his lawyer will have to fight to get that statement thrown out. On top of that, the gun was found loaded in his bedroom closet, meaning while he may not have physically possessed it, even though he said he did, he could still be charged with constructive possession for the simple fact that he had access to it. Obviously, being placed on house arrest for years is damaging to one's mental health, and a drug addiction can blur one's mind. But we'll just have to wait and see if Youngboy's legal team is able to find sympathy while prosecutors seek punishment and a judge weighs out justice.
What's the odds of that shit happening though, man? That dude is fucking cooked. Like, I didn't even say that, but he's fucking fried.
But for a popular rapper is facing over 60.
Yeah, it's over for NBA Youngboy. Damn, he cooked. I don't know why people let him be that stupid though, knowing he made that much money for them though. Like Rick Ross, the boss of the office. I'm not watching that shit. We already know he was a CO. Damn, that dude got 30 years in prison for that shit?
Yo! What up, what up?
Brandon Johnson, what a bitch.
Your mama gonna be sitting around here writing out your obituary if you with me, bitch, and you come out, mother.
Killed over a man while trying to kill the other lady? That shit is insane.
And as the former chief law enforcement in this country.
What? No way.
And as the former chief law enforcement in this country, you're going to vote for someone who is facing 88 criminal counts.
Oh, look, the 88 criminal counts, a lot of those are, and I've said...
Even if 10 of them are accurate.
The answer to the question is yes.
So shout out to Caitlyn for that interview because she definitely did a good job holding Bill Barr's feet to the fire. But, Caitlyn, how was your response to that last question? Not, what the hell is wrong with you? You're telling me that you're...
Man, it's always these skinhead fucking weirdos. Like, they'd rather see the fucking world burn to the ground than to see them on top of running everything with their fucking weird ideology. These people make me sick.
Going to vote for a guy. For a guy who just throws out the Constitution, right? I'm bigger than the Constitution. I don't care that I lost. I'm going to steal the election. You're going to vote for that guy because you...
I'm going to steal the election. If he would have stolen the election, he'd be the fucking president. These people are delusional shit, man. Like, they don't give a shit if gas is $50 a gallon and everybody's poor, fucking stacked in house. Like, stacked in little fucking duplex houses and shit because they can't afford a $5,000 a month studio apartment. These people get on my fucking nerves.
Disagree on policy with the other guy. We have the Constitution on one hand and a difference of policy, which we're supposed to communicate with and meet somewhere in the middle. But no. You fuckfaces don't want that. You want to vote for the guy who wants to be a dictator on day one. Kiss my ass.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about this pretty hilarious interview on CNN between former Trump Attorney General Bill Barr and Caitlyn Collins. Now, this interview is hilarious because Caitlyn Collins is going to get visibly upset and triggered by the fact that Bill Barr, despite his Trump derangement, is not a never-Trumper, right? In the sense that if it comes down to voting between Joe Biden and Trump for President of the United States, Bill Barr has declared that he's going to vote for Trump. Even though him and Trump do not have a good relationship, their relationship soured heavily after the election, and he has been pretty anti-Trump ever since then. But now he's coming out and saying that regardless of not having a good relationship with Trump, I'm still going to vote for the guy because Joe Biden is a bigger threat to this country than Trump. And again, this is not what CNN wanted to hear. So clearly and obviously, they're going to push back against Bill Barr because he's not sad.
Well, I'll be back. I'll get back on Facebook in a little bit when I'm streaming duty or something.
Saying what they want him to say. So I want to react to it, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Virtual Shield. Can you imagine your cell phone company leaking your social security number? Well, that's what happened to 63,000 individuals who had their private data exposed during a recent data breach. A rogue employee at a telecommunications company leaked private information like names, social security numbers, addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers.
People down. By not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president despite the fact that I called him weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy. Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah. It's classic Trump.
What's the question?
What's your response?
Well, I mean, obviously, what I said was that I'm very disappointed that this country is stuck with this choice between two people who I don't think either of them should be president of the United States. But given that binary choice, I feel I have to choose Trump.
But he's mocking you.
So it's not about me. I think that I've said this all along. If faced with
Hold up, man. Hold up. Are you guys telling me that common sense is making a comeback to CNN? This is fucking great. Because they've literally been the fucking loony show for like years now. Years on end. Just propagandists. Lying propagandist bastards.
with a choice between two people, neither of which I think should be president, I feel it's my duty to pick the person who I think would do the least damage to the country.
And I respect the hell out of that, right? I mean, again, you may not necessarily agree with Bill Barr on everything, right? Or, you know, his Trump derangement. But I can respect the hell out of the fact that this guy says, you know what? I'm going to put my own personal feelings aside, okay? Even though I don't like the guy, at the end of the day, I know that he's best for the country if the decision is between him and Joe Biden. I have nothing but respect.
They know Trump is going to take care of the country, man. They know Trump loves America and he's going to take care of the country. It's just all the people who want to fucking destroy it that have a problem with it. Because they probably never got to live what they life how they fucking wanted to. They pissed and salty about it, which nobody does. You very seldomly get some people that get to live the life, even the rich people. These people are rich, they have tons of money, but they be the most unhappiest fucking people. Nobody ever likes them. Kids don't like them. They have no relationship with their kids. They probably work their entire lives. Like, it's always a plus and a negative with shit. And I'm glad that people are starting to see that. Like, Joe Biden is the fucking negative.
Respect for that. And I think that that's how most people who are never Trump Republicans or Nikki Haley fans, I feel like that is how they should rationalize voting for Trump, right? If you're on the right, if you're a conservative, and you're saying, well, I don't want to vote for Trump because I don't like his attitude, even though you like his policies, you know that his policies are better than Joe Biden, for you to come out here and to vote for Joe Biden or to not vote for Trump because you don't like his attitude, I think is wrong. I think it is selfish. And
it's very selfish and wrong. To put your own hatred for somebody over the destruction of your quality of life and country is the most insane retard shit that you can do. Like, it's literally not about you. Do you want affordable gas and housing and a nice quality of life? Or do you just want to be somebody that's happy that somebody is being punished for something they didn't really fucking do? It's just because you hate them. You will wake up every day to a terrible life because you hate Donald Trump. That's fucking ridiculous. And if you actually feel like that, you deserve a fucking straitjacket.
You're putting your own feelings ahead of the well-being of the country. I really do feel that way. You don't have to like the guy 100%, but if you know that his policies are better, if you know that he's better for the country, then I think that you have an obligation to say, hey, I need to put my feelings aside and to vote in the direction that is going to make this country better. And that's why I said with Bill Barr, I respect the hell out of what he's doing because there are a lot of Never Trumpers that are not doing that, right? They're saying, well, I'm going to put my feelings over the fact that I know that Trump is better for the country than Joe Biden. So, you know, again, you might not like Bill Barr, you know, but I do respect the hell out of him for saying this because this is how I think a lot of Never Trumpers need to rationalize doing the right thing this November, which I'm hoping that a lot.
And I hope they do, man, because they're going to understand at some point. It doesn't matter how much Democrats and Joe Biden fucking pay you to become a traitor to your country and join them. It doesn't matter how much money you have when the country is in fucking total anarchy. What good is your money going to do? When you got these people that don't give a shit about you, don't even speak your language, breaking into your fucking house, holding your kids hostage or whatever the fuck is going on, because these people are not immigrants. They are asylum seekers. If they were asylum seekers, Venezuela crime wouldn't be down 67%. They wouldn't deny taking them back. And it's so crazy that Joe Biden actually went and got these people from their country and flew them over here in fucking planes, which really, really disgusts me. Everybody's talking about border. This dude is flying them over here in fucking planes. The border is a problem, but why would the border matter when they flying in like on first class flights? Straight over the border. Like, none of that shit matters, man. And a lot of people are gonna realize all that bribe money that they made just to become treasonous, traitor motherfucking piece of shit like they are. Like, I just seen January 6th. They said Trump was stripped of his executive powers January 6th. How? Like, that's a coup. This shit is crazy, man. Oh, I don't think I seen this one. All that dirty money though ain't gonna be shit when America no longer exists. People are gonna wake up one day. Savadi. Trump claims he can't get a fair trial. Trump will never get a fair trial in New York. Never. New York is one of the most corrupt piece of shit places in the history of humankind. He will never get a fair trial there.
Do you think Donald Trump can get a fair trial?
I certainly think he can get a fair trial. I mean, New York juries, and I've tried several cases in New York, they can be fair.
And that is, he can get a fair trial in New York.
At the end of the day, I think it's going to be a long process, but a fair and impartial jury will be seated in this case.
And just because somebody celebrated that Joe Biden won the election in 2020 doesn't mean that person can't put aside their political views and judge based on the evidence in the law. So
when you got to the questions of could they be fair, all of them sort of said they could. They could set aside their biases.
Are you confident that jurors in your city will be fair to former President Trump?
Our city is a fair city.
You see, Trump's lawyers, they argue.
New York City is a fair city. But you making illegal immigrants rich while your citizens become homeless. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't even see how Eric Adams is still the mayor. Like, Joe Biden turned on you because you start complaining too much about all the shit he doing for immigrants. And then your city turned on you. Everybody turned on you, man. Just fucking resign.
That he can't get a fair trial in Manhattan, so the judge should postpone the trial indefinitely while they seek a change of venue. Nope. Sorry, it's wedding rules. You put down the...
Do people really still listen to this guy? After he had a fucking dancing vaccine little segment on his show? That was one of the most disgusting, most cringe things of all fucking times that you could possibly do. Especially now that people are finding out how the vaccines actually work. And how it's just deleting people. I'm surprised this bastard is still on TV. Like, his ratings should be... What, probably 10 people with fucking purple and pink, blue hair and nose piercings with pronouns? No logical person should ever pay this bastard any more attention for that shit he did with the vaccines. He doesn't get a fucking pass for that. Never in life will he ever get a pass for that.
On the venue deposit, you're getting married in a rustic barn. Okay, that's how it is.
You're looking for...
Yo, look what the vaccine did to his ears. Look.
How it is.
Look at his fucking ears. You see this? Look at his ears, man. Look like the vaccine ate half his ear. This is some spooky shit, man. That shit is crazy.
You're looking for people who can be fair. Last count, there are a few people who live in Manhattan. Can a judge assemble a fair jury in Manhattan to hear this case? People who will listen to the evidence and follow the instructions of the court. Absolutely.
He said they are catching undercover liberal activists lying to the judge in order to get on the Trump jury. There is absolutely no evidence of this, that there's any liberal activists.
These people are crazy.
This is a very Manhattan jury based on my experience. It is a highly educated jury. It's a jury filled with professionals from a diverse range of occupations. And by and large,
you got to watch when they use the word education these days. Because they might be talking about educated people who think men in a dress is women. Or that taking hormone pills changes your insides. So you really got to watch how people use educated these days, because these kids are coming from Harvard, saying that it's like a million genders and shit. So that word education, man, we need to lock that shit up for a little while, so people can't use it and change the definition. We all know Democrats like to change the definition for everything.
it's really hard to get a read on most, not all, but most of these jurors, where they stand politically and where they stand on Donald Trump. Now let's run through the new jurors who made it onto the panel today.
Let's meet our contestants. Behind curtain number 1.
Juror number 11, I got to circle, because I think juror number 11 is potentially a real problem for Donald Trump. This is somebody who said she clearly has a negative view politically of Donald Trump. She said he seems very selfish and self-serving. But
you're going to get to respond right now.
That sounds fair. But when she was pressed on this by the judge, she said, that said, I could still put aside my beliefs and rule fairly on this case. Now, Donald Trump's lawyers tried very hard to get this juror struck from the case. The judge refused to do it, and now she is on the jury. We'll see if she's good for her oath and can put aside her personal beliefs.
Can you believe this?
This is somebody...
Are they fucking serious? This is like super red flag for conflict of interest. And I bet you her net worth just went up in some way. She has a lot more money than before she got picked on this case. People know these are money opportunities. If somebody find out you're a juror on a Donald Trump case, I'm pretty sure it's a Soros check waiting somewhere for you.
Who said she clearly has a negative view politically of Donald Trump. She said he seems very selfish and self-serving.
Nice lady? Very nice. Wonderful, warm woman.
Donald Trump's lawyers tried very hard to get this juror struck from the case. The judge refused to do it.
Now, isn't that a coincidence?
Amazing. Who'd believe it?
We have a great country that's going to hell, and it's going to hell very fast.
Very fast, man. Body with another great one. If you ain't following somebody on YouTube, what are you doing? He makes this political shit funny. You know, it's terrifying as it is, especially has been for since the Biden regime took over. He actually brings a little light to the shit, makes it a little funny, but it's very, very informative too. So definitely should follow Savati on YouTube. Great content. Yeah, as well as a Black conservative perspective, who I showed at the beginning. What I've been missing, man? I'm coaching baseball and stuff now, little first grade baseball team. So dad on top of me working and stuff. I've been missing a lot. But I gotta get back consistent, because YouTube, I don't know, man. YouTube is just so weird right now. Trump get the last laugh. What's that? Oh, let me see what Savati actually been putting out. Etymology. Do not watch this. Lethal dose of cringe ahead. Oh God. You mean to tell me Canada hasn't gotten rid of this douche yet? Cringe.
Peter, don't. They say if you watch that video, you die.
Ah, that's a lot of baloney.
Hey, Hayden, how you doing?
Prime Minister, happy May the 4th.
And to you too, my friend. I've actually told the kids they better be binging Star Wars.
Amazing. And so what's your plan?
Oh, I'm working. I'm actually...
Hold up. So, Joe Biden gets psychopath, lunatic, soy boy Mark Hamill. And Justin Trudeau gets Anakin Skywalker. Damn. One gets a lunatic, the other one gets a traitor. Nice.
packing up my stuff because I got to hit the road soon. But listen, may the 4th be with you.
And with you.
Like, literally no way, bro. I feel like I should actually apologize for showing y'all that shit. That is like a minute in our lives we will never ever get back by watching that cringe shit. I apologize. Damn. Pretty disgusting. What? Media Freak side? Afro Man's Hunter got high. This track. Afro Man is funny as hell. What? Adam should silence after Bill Maher says truth about Trump. What the fuck? Oh, that cringe panel. New York City high school kids soccer game canceled after African migrants curse out teens and refuse to leave. What the fuck?
What is going on here? What is really going on here? What's going on here? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing over here? Why are you guys in line here? What the fuck is going on?
Damn, they fresh as hell, man. You see all them Jordans and Air Max and Nikes and shit? Those are 200 pairs of, $200 pairs of shoes up. I wear a size 12. Like, I'm telling you, those shoes are $200 and up. So, damn, man, do I need to lose my citizenship so I can get spoiled like that? Free rent, like free housing, $1,000 a month, fresh clothes. Damn, it pays not to be an American right now. Telling you, it does.
Unique dialects that are also coming that I've never heard of that I'm learning now about. People from Madagascar are coming. You have people, Burundi are coming. People from countries that are not common to us. So language access has been truly, truly a challenge, especially if you don't understand. Pular from Guinea and Pular in Mauritania, Pular in Senegal is very different.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a very disgraceful story.
How crazy is that? We have people coming from parts of the world that people don't even normally travel from and come here. We don't know their language. We don't speak their language or nothing. We just, the Biden administration is just handing them fucking houses, jobs, and money and all that. We're not vetting them. We don't know no medical history, no criminal history, none of that shit. He's not even asking. He don't give a shit. Only thing that we know is that everybody's leaving these Democrat shitholes like California, New York, so they have to refill the people. They're going to lose seats. Democrats lose seats with that type of shit. And people don't see the urgency behind this or why they doing this so hard, so much. Both borders flooded. He flying people in. They are losing fucking seats in the House. The more population they lose in these places like California, New York, Democrats lose seats. So they're replacing you guys. They're replacing the population. Everybody's going to red states. You have people flooding my fucking state, North Carolina. You have New Yorkers in California flooding North Carolina, flooding Texas, flooding a lot of these other places because they want to get the fuck away from what they voted for. Which is a shame. You should stay there and deal with the shit that you voted for. All those Democrats want to leave California now. Why you want to leave California now? Why you wait till it's a shithole and burn it to the ground? Why didn't y'all make better voting decisions? Or better yet, why didn't y'all guard the voting places so that it wouldn't be no corruption? Because I don't even think y'all had a fucking choice in who y'all voted for out there. It's probably made for you. But people don't want to lay in the bed that they made. That shit is real funny to me. They just want to leave countries and go to places that didn't vote for that type of shit. Why y'all want to come to red states and try to turn them blue like they doing in Texas? Oh, let's turn Texas blue. Why the fuck do you want to do to Texas what you just did to California? Obviously, it didn't fucking work. But you want to come to a red state. Oh, let's turn it blue because you done fucking destroyed your home. No, 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 no. Fuck no. And I'm going to tell you right now, if y'all ever think Texas and places like North Carolina be blue, you out your fucking mind. Like, I'm going to just say it. Don't even waste your breath or your gas or your fucking Tesla batteries even driving there. It will never happen. Stay in your shitholes that you made.
That is becoming all too commonplace in progressive wonderlands like New York City. Now, this story involves African illegal immigrants who are here seeking asylum. Now, this is mostly military-age men who come from all across that continent. Now, it's kind of funny to think about because initially when the illegal immigration crisis was really ratcheting up under Joe Biden because he told the illegals to come to the border, we were told that, hey, you got to let them in because they're all coming from Venezuela for the most part, okay? And they're here because they're seeking asylum and they're running away from the socialist dictatorship in that country, right? But now, all of a sudden, you have people coming from across the globe, okay? You have people coming from China, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Europe, Africa. They're coming from everywhere, okay? So are you telling me that all of these people are escaping political persecution and therefore they should be let into the United States of America, all these countries, okay? Even in Africa and Southeast Asia and all these other places. Is that what you're telling me? Right. Again, I think that something is up here, okay? We're being gaslighted about this issue. And it's not just about people who are seeking asylum and escaping political persecution. This is being done on purpose. They're just letting people into the country. Doesn't matter where you're from. As long as you come to the border and say, I'm hungry and I'm escaping political persecution, you don't have to prove a damn thing. They'll just let you right in, okay? And that is why you have all these people from these different countries just coming into the United States. All of a sudden, we have thousands of military-age African men showing up in New York City. How did we get to this point? It's pretty crazy, okay? Now, we are already experiencing.
And they didn't come over on fucking boats. Biden is flying these people in on planes, actively, working with these. I believe he's paying their fucking governments. Whenever all this shit ain't, they're using, because Democrats know how radical they are. They stole the last election. I don't give a shit. Call me what you want. Call me crazy, lunatic, whatever the fuck. I don't believe they won the last election. And I'm going to die with that opinion. So I don't give a shit what nobody says. But they knew their time was limited. They knew they're so fucking, like, cuckoo crazy in the fucking brains that they only going to get one term. There's no way in hell nobody ever thought they were going to win with a Kamala Harris. But they knew they were going to get one term, so guess what? They're trying to do the most damage they can do to America in such a short amount of time. Like, the shit that he's been doing in 4 years, man, normally somebody who has this type of agenda as president will at least try to make it stretch like Obama did. Stretch your bullshit out over the 8 years. They know it's no more years after this Biden shit. So they're going to try to do as much damage as they can to America and our society from everything. Social structure, supply chain. It was 95, a part of 95 in Connecticut just got shut down because of a truck or something that exploded and blew up and damaged the bridge. We have fucking like 5 bridges in the last couple months. Incidents with bridges, collapsing and all type of stuff going on. Like, this dude is actively attacking our infrastructure now. And everybody's just sitting around, all TikTok videos, you know, like, I'm powerless. I don't have a position in government or something, which I don't know. I might run one day because I'm an honest person and I don't really give a shit about money. I go make money on my own. I can't be bought. That shit only gets you but so far. You know? And I know a lot of people say that they get there and it changes, but I'm definitely not like everybody. I don't give a shit about a lot of that stuff. I know what really matters in life. So, you know, I might run one day, but I know the type of person I am in. That type of environment, man, people not gonna like me because honesty and truth is hated. And that's all I bring. But, you know, these people that's in government, especially like, how do I say this? Well, first of all, we need term limits. First and foremost, I don't even know how that shit hasn't been passed. How do we have dinosaurs still making choices for people like they're not gonna live with none of their consequences? Like with Joe Biden and none of these people. Joe Biden is in his 80s. All the shit he's doing now is going to damage America for decades. He's not going to live the consequences of his actions. None of these people are. Pelosi and none of these people. So why the fuck are they still making decisions for us? The people are going to have to live with their decisions. Whatever they do overseas, with all these other countries, and the tension they start, and the wars they start and fund and all that, they're not going to have to deal with that shit down the road. We're going to have to deal with that. And everybody forgets that. Like I said, everybody just sitting around just complaining and shit. It's enough complaining. These people that's in power need to fucking do something. Like I said, I don't have a position of power, but the ones that do need to fucking do something. It's beyond the point of just sitting around. It's been beyond the point of sitting around for years now. Probably after the first year he was in fucking office, people should have been like, okay, this is a bad fucking mistake. They let it get this far.
The devastating effects, the negative effects of that, because essentially these people are demanding more free housing. They're demanding more free food. They're saying that, hey, we need halal food. Okay, they're making all types of special requests, even though they don't contribute. Okay, they're not American citizens. It seems to me that they're ungrateful, right? And that they don't appreciate the kindness that has been extended to them, when really they should be grateful that they're here in the country in the first place and that they weren't forced to swim back across the Atlantic Ocean to the countries that they came from, okay? Right. They should be grateful that they're not being put on a boat and say, hey, you got to go back, right? The fact that you can stay here and live off a taxpayer dime for free, and you are demanding more and more and more, and basically saying that,
like, how does that make people feel? I know how it makes me feel. To get up and go to work and all this other shit and just have your money stripped from your fucking checks. Stripped from everything you do. Then you got this bastard Biden talking about a 44.6% capital gains tax. Like, are you fucking insane? He shouldn't even have a fucking job after even mentioning that shit. But we have all this stuff happening to us and just getting all our money stripped from us that support these ungrateful motherfuckers. You come over here and complain about the menu. You should have seen in New York. They threw out so much of that food in the hotels. Like, that shit could have fed our homeless. That shit could have fed our homeless population of American-born citizens. You thought they thought to give any of that food to them people? Fuck no. They threw it in the trash. And the immigrants didn't even eat it. It was too good for them. Imagine that. People who are asylum seekers. Chicken sandwiches and all this other stuff, bologna turkey sandwiches. You know, all this stuff is just not good enough for you. And the shit that I'm paying for, you know, which I don't give a shit if I don't live in New York or not. They getting federal money for this shit, so I'm paying for it. I'm paying for people to fucking waste food. That, like, money getting taken out of my checks and shit that I can pay for. I could be able to buy more stuff for my home or whatever. You can't even fucking do that because we supporting people who don't even give a fuck about our support in the first place. Like, they could have fed our homeless with that shit. You should saw all the food them people threw out. But they're asylum seekers though. They're running from all this poverty and injustice. Like, fuck out of here.
If you don't give us what you deserve, that you're racist.
But at the shelter, the food, my kids cannot eat the food at the shelter.
Kasuma yedo men sonjino moƴƴa parce que tawi kadi horu gongol arta e kikiɗe tawa ñamete on a wawata mo ñamude.
And on Ramadan time, we couldn't eat because when you come back for the breaks, the food is no good at all.
And, you know, I hate to actually agree with them on this one, but they're not used to eating such fake synthetic foods, and I give it to them. America is land of fake-ass food, fake synthetic food full of a lot of garbage. So I would understand that their systems aren't taking to that shit, and they just don't. They don't have a taste for it. It's overly salty. We have a lot of sweet foods here. And it's just bad for your fucking health. These people come from eating real animals, real vegetation. So I could kind of see that. But at the same time, we shouldn't have to fucking foot the bill for that lifestyle change. You know? Like, that shit is insane, man. Like, I get it. But that's not our priority, man. These people... We should be helping these people at home, where they come from. We should be helping build up their infrastructure. Like, if you want to do shit, you want to help these people, you help them back home. And what does that do? If we helping them build, we can make money. We take, they can take loans from us in the process, which creates manufacturing jobs for us over here. They send products and a whole bunch of other stuff over here to help build up their infrastructure. And it creates ways for them to make money, open businesses, jobs and shit. That's how you help these people. You help these people back home economically. Like, you don't fucking destroy our country and shit on us, make us second-class citizens for immigrants. You just don't do that. And people are American. Every time Joe Biden show up on fucking TV, he should have an American flag nowhere fucking around him. That dude does not give a shit about America. He's as anti-American as you can get. Like, this shit, man, we should not have to pay for this shit. And then had somebody tell me, oh, you should be fighting for this. You a black man. I'm like, bro, what the fuck does my skin color got to do with that? I'm American. I don't give a fuck about that skin shit, all this other shit, bro. People with my skin color get killed by people who look like me every fucking day. None of that shit matters to me. But I know in this country, your nationality, your citizenship, your nationality matters. I'm an American first. All the black culture and all the other shit, that shit comes after that. This is the country I'm from. This is my home. This is where my grandparents from, my parents, my great-grandparents, they fucking parents, and it goes on down the list. I'm American. This shit ain't perfect. No country is perfect. You can go to any country in the world right now. It was slavery. It was wars. It was murder. It was rape. It was pillaging. It was all that shit. And all of it was wrong. All of it was bad. Like, I don't condone none of that shit. But if you think I'm going to sit here and say, fuck my country, oh, my home, my birthplace, for other people, you got to be crazy in your fucking head. You have to be insane. Look at the Puerto Ricans. I live with a lot of Puerto Ricans and stuff. They got the Puerto Rican flag on everything. On their clothes, on their cars, in their houses. You know who's Puerto Rican up here. But I'm supposed to be ashamed of where I'm from? I'm not supposed to love my country. I'm not supposed to love America and that, man. You got me fucked up. And when I was growing up as a teenager, I kind of felt like that. Fuck America, all this and that. Americans came a long way. My grandparents always reminded me of that. It's not the old America with all that bullshit. If you can't look around and see we came a long way, something wrong with your fucking eyes. But like, if you think I'm not gonna be proud of my country, because like I said, when I was younger, I felt the same way. Fuck America. Oh, it don't like me. It don't like people who look like me. This and that. Bro, people who look like me help build this country. That's a fact. They just want to all the brainwashing shit, all the media brainwashing want you to fucking hate your home and your birthplace, so that it won't be no problem when they destroy it and erase it and mix you in for this whole little one world government type of shit. I feel like the World Economic Forum is pushing on people. If they can get you to hate America, it won't be no problem when they destroy it. That's what I think is going on. That's what the propaganda is for, in my opinion. But I never hate where I'm from.
But Jonathan men kon kadi 2 mois a yalta o 2 mois do timma yalta taba ko ya ƴettu kadi pay koy fop ƴetta bagage ji ma yaha kadi winditoyoɗa ɓe naɓira ma kadi nokkugo hara pay koy no jangirde nokkugo ɗum non fop no wondani men e sattende.
And they give us 2 months to stay at the shelter, and then you have to go out again with your luggages and the kids and find another place. It's very difficult.
Haray ɗum ɗon vraiment hino satti min paykugan kadi janunkun mo mari 18-19 entre ɗon o wawali heɓude ha joni komo janga.
And also I have a kid that is like 18 to 19. Until now he doesn't have no school.
Like I said, I was emphasis many times.
If you have a kid that's 18 and 19 here in America, sweetheart, he's no longer a kid. He need to get a job or go to college or whatever, or do both. He really need to go get a job and some money, because this is an economy. That college shit ain't worth it. Seeing your kid pay all that tuition money for him to get to school and burn it down with all these protests and riots behind other countries, or to come home during Christmas break telling you that he got pronouns now and he's a girl. Nah, I'm good on that type of shit. I'll let my son get straight to getting some money and building his credit up.
That, you know, we are African, we don't speak African. We have different specificity in Africa. I'm from Central Africa. My mom is from East Africa. My mommy speaks Aramaic. My dad don't speak Aramaic. He don't even.
And you see, I'm glad that this stuff is being said in this video. Like, in Africa, they make distinctions. Oh, we're not the same as the Africans. We speak a totally different language. My dad don't even speak that language. Oh, and if you call an African, like, oh, you from Ghana, like, they'll check you quick. Oh, no, I'm from here. Oh, no, I'm from here. And it's like, in Africa, they even let you know that they different. But in America, let's say, like, I don't run with the black narrative. Like, I don't hate Donald Trump. Because I've been a Donald Trump supporter since when he first decided to run for president against Hillary Clinton. But let's say, like, I just don't go with the typical American black narrative. Let's say I don't hate Donald Trump or whatever, this and that. They will call me coons, all this other stuff. Because in America, I'm supposed to be collective. I'm supposed to go with the bullshit, the black bullshit, no matter what, because I'm black. So I'm supposed to just lay in bed with that bullshit and just go along with it. In Africa, you don't have to. You just think, hey, nah, we Ghanaian. We don't do with that. Oh, them people over there. Like, I done heard how, like, different parts of Africa talk about other parts of Africa. Oh, those people are still savages. They still animals. Like, they say that shit about each other. Because they're not a collective. They're different. But in America, you can't be different. You can't have your own opinion. You can't be your own little thing over here. Or else you a coon, you a Uncle Tom, you this, you that. Only in America they treat you like that. But I don't give a fuck. I got my own opinions on everything. And ain't nobody swaying or changing my mind. Call me what you want. You call me coon 1 billion times. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm a grown man. Words don't do nothing to me. But I just love how Africans can make the distinction that they not all the same. But America just can't. We all have to be the same fucking, like, weird-ass minstrel show. And it's like, nah, that's not how that works. A lot of black people don't even agree with that type of bullshit that be getting pushed on social media. Oh, all the gang, hood, weird shit, like all the twerking, all that weird, crazy, ratchet music. Like, bro, a lot of black people, they might listen to some of that music because they grew up in the cultures, whatever. But, bro, they don't got shit to do with that lifestyle. None of that weird shit outside of that. But for some reason, they like to project that as like, oh, that's most black Americans. Fuck no. Fuck no, I know some black people house you going to, you can't even play that type of music. Like, y'all need to start understanding, man. People are individuals in America. Black people are individuals. We're not a collective. Don't tie us in with all that weird shit. Like, that you see a group of black people doing or some people doing. Like, they need to really stop doing that. Because that's really not the truth about how this shit works over here. We have our own minds. Just like Africans.
Understand it. I do, because my mom is Aramaic, so I do. But we need people that speak the native language to teach to those people. That's what we're asking the city, and the city refused to acclimate. This is an accept.
Asking the city, so they asking New York for all this shit. Where do they get the money and like the resources from to do all this shit that's required upon them? On top of taking care of New York City's every like day-to-day shit. People are asking way too much. But like I said, Democrats knew they had a small fucking window. They had 4 years to cram all they corrupt bullshit in. So it was no plan. It's no structure, no nothing. It's just full-blown fucking chaos. Because they try to just rush and cram everything, all they little BS into one little 4-year run.
This is shameful time in New York history. This city is not friendly for all people. It is anti-African and xénophobique. Cette ville n'est pas du tout accueillante pour les Africains. Elle est raciste et xénophobe. Et on doit le dire. We came to share this testimony to let you all know in this council you all are responsible for this pain and suffering that will affect us for generations to come. But you also can change this for better. C'est l'hôpital qui se moque de la charité.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that, okay? I mean, these people are demanding translators, right? They're demanding free English classes, which again, by the way, is like, why the hell did you come here if you don't know English, right? If you don't know English, why did you come, okay? You probably should have learned English before you came, okay? But apparently...
And that's another thing that I hate. Like, you just go somewhere and it's like people that don't speak English, like, I don't feel no type of way. I'm not xenophobic or none of that shit. but I'm in my country of origin. If I went to Japan or if I went to these other places, I would expect them to speak their language. I would have no problem with that. It would be nice to have people that can speak both, but I know where I'm at. So I have to adjust to the culture. You come there and you assimilate yourself. Like, to come to America and just feel like you don't have to speak English and we just have to pick your fucking words out and deal with you on just small purchases and shit and all this other little shit. Yo, that shit is fucking absurd. Like, that shit is absurd. English should be number one here. Number one. There's a lot of other countries you can go to and they speak Spanish. Like, and I get Mexico's right there. We get a lot of people from there. I get that. Let that be a choice and shit, though. They should push English. Quit trying to, like, compensate people for their laziness, man. Like I said, I would not expect nobody to not speak Japanese if I went to Japan. Well, I'd be over there in Japan. Oh my God, all these people speak is Japanese. Nobody speaks English. Like, you like a fucking idiot. And you look ignorant as shit. Because you're in Japan. So have a little respect when you come to America. Learn to take on at least the language. It's a whole bunch of cultures and shit. We full of all cultures, but at least try to take, especially if you're gonna work in and work a customer service job. Because I've been running into a lot of that shit. Like, I just go to some place and they just don't speak English, and it's like pulling teeth, just trying to get a simple order. And that shit is very frustrating, man. I'm not mad at the person per se. I'm mad at the situation that I have to actually go through this situation when I shouldn't have to. This guy should speak English. So, like, I'm not necessarily mad at him. He's just taking advantage of the shit that the government is allowing. Hell, anybody want a better life or something, man, the shit, I would go for it if somebody's offering me free money and a place to come here to a better place, whatever. I go for it too. But it doesn't make it right. I hate the fucking situation. I shouldn't have to go through none of this. Joe Biden shouldn't be doing none of this shit. And it's creating victims on both sides for America and for these people. Because they come here, they got to deal with the attitudes and all this other shit, but then they come here with the violence and shit too. And it's creating just a whole bunch of, like, tension between people. I see it all. I'll be places, they don't speak English, man. That shit go off the rails. This is America. I done seen that shit multiple times, man. None of this shit is good, man. We need better solutions.
Apparently, these people believe that the food that is being given to them by the shelter in New York City is worse than the food they was eating in their huts, right, before they decided to swim across the Atlantic Ocean and come here, okay? I mean, that has to be what it is, because they're saying, look, that food, we don't like that food, right? We deserve better food. Again, I just got to ask, okay, in Zimbabwe, okay, in Madagascar, okay, if you were so motivated to literally travel across the Atlantic Ocean to the United States, but what kind of food were you getting there? You wasn't eating no feast. You wasn't eating the highest quality food. If your food was so good over there, why the hell did you come here? I got questions, okay? So again, these people are demanding better quality food, even though, again, if you come here seeking asylum and, you know, you come from a poor country in poverty, you would think that you would just be grateful for whatever you can get. Okay?
You would think.
They're saying, hey, we need better shelter options, and we're demanding more shelter, and all types of crazy nonsense that, you know, for me personally, it's like, yo, these illegals are uppity, okay? Uppity. So uppity that apparently some of them think that they own a high school field. A high school field out in East Harlem,
no way,
okay?
Man.
A public field in which a group of migrants refused to leave so that a group of kids, American kids, right, could actually play soccer, okay? And apparently they refused to leave despite the cops showing up. In fact, the uppity illegals actually started throwing a fit over the fact that they were asked to leave. So let's read about this.
No
Headline,
way, man.
New York City high school soccer game canceled after a group of about 30 migrants refused to leave the field even after cops show up. Again, a disgraceful story to talk about in this country. But because you have insane woke idiots running this country, running these liberal cities, this is what you're getting, okay? So let's read here. A high school soccer game at a public field in East Harlem was canceled after a group of migrants refused to leave the pitch so the kids could play. Quote, I directly asked them to leave, and some of them kind of took it.
So they just seen a fucking soccer field here in America and was like, oh, we can do whatever the fuck we want with this soccer field. Did Joe Biden tell them they could just do whatever the fuck they wanted when they got here? I don't get it. You could just fucking take a high school soccer field from kids, like from people that have a game. This shit is weird. This shit is getting super weird, man. It's been weird, but now it's just like what the fuck type of alternate Earth timeline did we fall in to where shit like this is happening? Like I don't know. Did everything happen when Thanos snapped his fucking finger in that movie? So I feel like something might have happened in reality that got us to this weird fucking point that we at, where this shit is actually real, man.
Consideration, but then 4 or 5 of them said, you know what, F it, we don't have to leave, we can do whatever we want, said Eric Johansson, the coach of the Manhattan Kickers, a 17-year-old boys travel team. Yeah, so again, these people over here saying that, hey, we can do whatever we want to do, okay? F it, we don't have to leave. We don't even pay taxes, right? We don't even pay taxes, so we can do whatever we want. Again, the entitlement is crazy. About 40 boys from both teams showed up on Sunday, April 14th at Thomas Jefferson Park for the 5 p.m. match. The Kickers were set to face off against FA Euro New York. But the group of about 30 men who appeared to be African migrants and spoke a little English wouldn't leave even when the cops showed up. So again, they don't really know English, but they can say, F it, we don't want to leave, right? They can say that, but they can't, speak any other English. Again, fascinating, interesting. To resolve the conflict, the cops asked to see a copy of the club's team city permit. Well, why the hell should the club team have to show a city permit?
Hold up, so you mean to tell me the police went and asked the club, the 17-year-old kids soccer club, to show a city permit over the fucking grown-ass men from Africa that didn't want to fucking leave? I need new bad words for New York City that I can call New York. I done called them every cuss word and every despicable word that you can call New York. I need new fucking insults. I need new profanity words that I can call New York City. Like, somebody please send me some, chat somewhere. Please send me some new cuss words, even if you make them up. I just need some terrible fucking words that I can call New York City. Please. Because I don't even, I've used every cuss word I have. I don't even know nothing I could call them right now. I just want to call them something fucking terrible. Because that's exactly what the fuck New York is.
I don't understand, right? This conflict should have automatically been resolved by the cops by saying, no. These people pay taxes. Regardless of whether or not they got a permit, they have more of a right to be here and to play than the African illegal immigrants, at the very least, because they pay taxes, if nothing else. Again, see, this is why I am not always back to blue. People think that I'm always pro-police. No, I'm not always pro-police. If the police do something wrong, if I disagree with it, then I'm going to stand against the police and say they were wrong, right? But if a criminal does something wrong, like, for example, drinks and drive, it's obviously drunk driving, okay? I'm not going to attack the cop because the cop said some things that may have been inconsistent. No.
Facts. Because that's what common sense is. Like, and that's what we need. Common sense isn't as common as the fucking word leads it to be. But like, that's why. Like most I would even say, yeah, I would go there. I wouldn't really make it a race thing, but I would say, bro, black conservatives are probably the most grounded people that you could meet. Not white conservatives. I'm talking specifically black conservatives. Because black conservatives can tell you how both sides of the logic coin feels. And they can tell you they're outcast from black people because we don't think as self-destructively. And they can tell you about how the radical, you got people who call themselves conservatives on the radical white base, how they act with when it comes to color things, like how you got fucking Charlie Kirk with his bullshit that he like to spew every now and then. His inaccurate bullshit when it comes to black people and stuff. But like I said, like, Black conservatives are probably the most rounded people that you can talk to about any of this type of shit politically. Like, especially when it comes to being politically correct. I'm not saying every black conservative, man, because like I said, everybody has their own mind and their own opinion. But for the most part, when it comes to like being grounded in like reality, logic, and like politics, a black conservative is probably the best you can get out here. Just keeping it real.
I'm going to actually attack the criminal, okay? I'm going to stand with the cops when they're right, when they're going after criminals. However, when cops are wrong, I'm going to stand against the cops. Again, this is a very simple concept, okay? And in this case right here, I think that the cops showing up and asking for the club's city permit, that makes them wrong, okay? That is the wrong thing to do. They should have automatically kicked off the illegals because they don't pay taxes. They're not American citizens. And you should never put foreign citizens over your own people. That should never, ever, ever happen. But again, this is what's happening in liberal utopia, okay? You have the politicians placing priority of illegal immigrants, okay? People who are not American citizens over actual tax-paying, hard-working citizens, right? Again, it's a shame. It really is a damn shame what this country is becoming. So let's read more here. Quote, when you show up with two teams in uniform, a ref and two coaches, usually nobody is asking to see your permit, said Johansson. By the time Johansson's assistant was able to forward a copy of the kicker's permit, the game had been delayed 30 minutes and the teams didn't feel safe. Quote, even when the game is over, you don't know if they're waiting for you. So even if the cops kick them out, it may not be over. So we just all agree this is too dangerous, Johansson said. Again, a damn shame, right? So you have Americans, actual taxpayers, and their children living in fear of playing a game that they're rightfully entitled to play because they don't want to upset illegals, right? They don't want to upset the African illegal immigrants that are...
Are they fucking kidding me? They didn't play because they didn't want to upset these fucking foreigners. Oh my God. And that's New York, so I'm pretty sure you can't carry. But if that would have been my kids, nephew, anybody over there playing, I would have made sure I stood out there with my pistol on me. I'm like, man, y'all go ahead and play, have a good time. I make sure nobody mess with y'all. If the police ain't gonna fucking protect them, I would have stood out there. My gun on me and everything. Like, nah, we ain't doing that shit. See, you already letting these illegals know that they can come here and have their fucking way. Like, America not like that. Y'all don't even let Americans have their way. So I'd be damned if people that didn't even come here the right way. Like, my neighbor is an immigrant from Germany. She's married to an American and all that. She still has to go to Boston, pay her shit, do all other type of shit. These people couldn't even take the route that she took, and that she's still dealing with becoming a citizen. She's not even a citizen yet, and she's been doing this shit for years. They haven't gave her any money. They haven't gave her shit. She been paying them to be here. And these people just come here and just get handed everything. And these are grown-ass men, older than me. And for me to see all these people that's older than me, as long as I've been living in America and trying to build a business and shit, I had my LLC trying to build my business up from the ground. I come from nothing. I come from 17 people in a 2-bedroom house in North Carolina. I come trying to build me up a small business and all that shit. Then you got the scamdemic come through. Then you got Biden wrecking the fucking economy, making shit hard on me. I can't even... With me, with buying the shit I was getting for it, I was selling a whole bunch of electronics, phones, all type of stuff. Drop shipping overseas, everything. Man, he made that shit unbearable. And not only that, but customs and shit. Losing my iPhone shipments and stuff. Like, this is $1,000 stuff. I didn't get compensated for none of that. You think he give a shit about small business? No. Joe Biden is the destroyer of American small business. And he could do that to the Americans like me who are born here and who fight to try to build a life here. And then you see people older than you come here and get treated like kings. That shit fucking disgusts me. The worst. People talk, oh, Joe Biden, the worst president. Yeah, fuck that. That piece of shit is the worst American in history of fucking America. It goes beyond all that president shit. He's the worst fucking American that's ever stepped foot in this fucking... I ain't stepped foot. That was ever born in this fucking country. Ultimate piece of shit.
basically taking over the field, even though they don't have a right to do that. They don't have a right to be there. They're saying, hey, well, we're just going to cancel our game and leave because we don't want to hurt their feelings, and they might hurt us. Again, it's a damn shame. It really is. Only in liberal utopia. Only in liberal utopia. In his home country of Sweden, which saw a massive influx of migrants in recent years, the clashes on the pitch were all too common. Quote, I have seen this before. I know how bad they can get, he said. Parents told him they were rattled by the incident and they don't want to play at the field anymore. Johansson said they don't plan to return.
Damn.
At other fields, like in East River Park, they don't have these issues, but field space in the city is limited and they take what they can get. Quote, it's so frustrating that the guys who refuse to follow the rules, one, Maud Meron, a Soho mom whose son plays on the team, told the Post, quote, that's the message the kids got. She said it is a sign of the Big Apple becoming lawless. The East Harlem field is packed with teams competing with adults for weekend time on the turf. Parkgoers said Randall's Island, which sits on the other side of the Harlem River, was converted into shelter space for 2,000 migrants last year at the expense of the popular youth soccer fields. Yeah, so we have kids suffering, right? Kids are giving up.
They got rid of youth soccer fields for fucking grown-ass men. For grown-ass men, they get rid of kids' soccer fields. But you know what? Let the kids not have shit to do, get bored and start stealing and committing crimes and killing people and all sort of shit because they don't already have resources in the communities and neighborhoods. They'll be bitching and putting, it'll be a problem then. Oh, these kids have, and that's the major fucking problem in a lot of these areas. Kids are bored, they don't have shit to do. Build them a YMCA so they can go swim and get good at shit they never were good at. And they talking about, oh, they want to bring all this DEI shit, all that garbage shit into like hockey and stuff like that. Oh, because there's no black people in hockey. Well, why the fuck don't you build hockey programs in the hoods or where the black demographic is at so that these kids might learn the sport and get better at it instead of just trying to fucking force these people that's already grown and barely play the shit into here just to get paid to do nothing. Like, you have to create a pathway for this type of shit. You will see a lot more people. You will see a lot more natural diversity in places if you created more resourceful pathways. Like, I didn't grow up shit. I don't know one time where my grandparents or my dad or anybody asked me, was like, you want to sign up and play hockey this season? I don't never fucking remember that. I don't even remember nobody playing hockey and none of that around me. But it's a pro hockey league. I know the Carolina Hurricanes and all that, so I know that it's a way to get into hockey. I just don't have access to that shit. Nobody's mentioning it to me. Right, and that's the crazy part about it. When you, let's say you do come across a black hockey player, go look at his history. I bet you probably had a lot of white friends, ones who probably put him on the sport who he played it with, because hockey is predominantly played by white people. I think it comes from like one of them European countries. But they just want to diversify it when it's already grown with adults and shit like that. Right, create better pathways for these kids, and you won't have to worry about forcing no fucking diversity. It would be natural pathways to this type of stuff. They don't give a shit about that stuff though, man. These people are, if you ask me, they're anti-human. And that's the point that's really, I'm not scared about it. I'm not scared for anything. I'm not scared of dying or none of that shit. I accepted that shit when I was young. But what does scare me is thinking about a society that my offspring are going to be living in. You know, for my kids and my grandkids and all, because everybody, you should care about legacy. You should want to do something for your family before you leave this earth, whether it's just creating life and moving it along in the future. You care about legacy. The thing that your kids and grandkids are going to grow up in a world where they're confusing kids, telling them that they can be men and women and change their sex and all sorts of weird shit. On top of all this other stuff that they pushing, that's what really terrifies me. I worry about the future when it comes to a lot of that shit. Like my kids and stuff. So like, we really have to do something to get society back on track, man. I'm telling you, I don't know how many people have lost their kids and offspring to this dangerous LGBT culture's ideology with the whole transgender nonsense. I don't know how many people lost their kids to that shit so far. And people want to act like it's just something that just happens. It's normal. That shit's not fucking normal. And then they want to make it a problem. Like, you got a lot of men. Like I said, people care about legacy. Real men and real people care about legacy and having offspring, continuing your bloodline. They want to make it seem like it's a problem. You care about it. Oh, why do you care if your son's gay? Why do you care if your son is trans? Because if my kids are not creating life, they're not pushing my bloodline along. They're not doing any of the stuff I need to do. And I know it might seem somewhat selfish, but reality is kind of selfish. Because if humans do not make kids, which is a priority, you have to raise them to be able to become self-aware and take care of themselves and raise their kids and have kids. Without that type of selfishness, humanity wouldn't exist at all. If everybody decided to not have kids and just live the life how they wanted to, party and do whatever their entire life, every human being, we wouldn't exist more than, I'd probably say you might have some people that might make it to 100, but I'd probably say after 100 years, man, we would no longer exist. This planet would be full of fucking animals. So some parts of reality are selfish. I mean, yeah. Like, you have to be selfish with some parts, with stuff like that. But they want to make it seem like it's a problem now. Like, everything is just a problem. It's so crazy. They pushing on the women too. Look how many women are now gay with no plans to have kids. They can still be making kids and having kids, but they pushing. You see so many women now saying they're not having any kids. They have pushed their agendas on society so hard that people, I feel like people hate kids at this point, hate babies too. The way they want to genocide them out with all this abortion shit that the Democrats are pushing. You can't tell me that you love kids and babies and you running with that shit. You just can't. That's two things that can't be true at the same time. You have to pick and choose when it comes to that type of shit, for sure.
Up taxpayer-funded facilities for migrants to stay there, and somehow, some way, people believe that this is right, okay, that this is fair, when it's not at all, okay? Kids should not be asked to make these type of sacrifices, but hey, at the end of the day, these people voted for this, right? When you vote in these woke progressive Democrats who support sanctuary city policies, support the right to shelter laws that also led to this is what you get, okay? So you have to suffer, and your kids have to suffer because of the policies that you voted for. And until these people vote differently, until these people change their voting habits, this is going to become very commonplace. They're going to have to be okay with their taxpayer dollars supporting these migrants, even though the politicians should be calling for mass deportation. That's what they should be doing, okay? If they really want to clean up the problem. But they don't want to do that, right? They actually want to allow the migrants to work. This is why they're dealing with it until they can actually work, and then eventually they will start taking people's jobs. But yeah, that, and also on top of that, you have to deal with migrants getting access and priority to facilities that you paid for with your taxpayer dollars. So, you know, it is what it is. Every time I do one of these stories, I feel bad, but I only can feel so bad because that's what these people voted for. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
Yep. Definitely get what you fucking voted for in New York City. You deserve every bit of that shit. Every bit of that shit. Well, let's see if they got some more sobriety right here. I know I done missed a lot of sobriety. Yeah, I know I done missed somebody. Shit. Oh, tell me y'all seen the Cringe with Mark Hamill, man. We gotta go through it again.
At Consumer Cellular, you get the same.
We gotta go through this shit again. This shit is hilarious. If y'all don't know how crazy that Luke Skywalker bastard is, you about to see. A real loony.
I get up in the morning and look at Jill and say, where the hell are we?
Oh my goodness, I wonder why. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. Don't say things don't get exciting in here sometimes. There's no introduction that really is needed here. I have a special guest, as you can see. Mark Hamill has decided to join us on this wonderful Friday, and
Fucking lunatic.
I am really excited to turn it over to Mr. Hamill. Here we go.
Okay, how many of you had Mark Hamill will lead the press briefing on your bingo card? Hands? Yeah, me either. And
why the fuck does he sound like he's shaking when he talking? Like, you hear it in his voice. Like, he come up, motherfucking. See, that's why it was important to do your research on the vax. This is exactly why it was important. Look how he walk up. That shit kicking his ass.
how many of you had Mark Hamill will lead the press briefing on your bingo card? Hands? Yeah, me either.
Your fucking hand.
And look, I just got to meet the president. He gave me these aviator glasses.
Oh my God.
I love the merch.
You should have kept them fucking glasses on.
Love it all. But listen, I just wanted to say.
Hold on, no, he didn't give him the $10 Amazons. Yo, somebody crazy as hell.
But listen, I just wanted to say I was honored to be asked to come to the White House to meet the president.
Oh, shit.
The most legislative, successful president in my lifetime.
Most successful legislative president in his fucking lifetime. Well, you know, actually, he might be right, man. Cause where the fuck this dude come from? Come from space, some fucking where? Like, I don't know what they do on his timeline. He got the Death Star or Darth Vader and all this. Probably in that loony fucking world that he living in his head. All this shit happened. He talking most successful legislative president. Like, bitch, gas is $20 a gallon. A carton of eggs is about 50. You go in the convenience, the gas station, get 2 Snickers bars, it's $100. The fuck is this maniac talking about, man?
The most legislative, successful president in my lifetime. The most legislative, successful president in my lifetime.
Look at this guy, man. Both his eyes don't even fucking work.
In my lifetime.
Look at this shit, man. Eyes don't even fucking work.
And, you know, I don't have to go through the list, the bipartisan infrastructure law, the PACT Act, the CHIPS Act, all of that, inflation, 15 million jobs. Look, it's all good.
And Americans are taking on more debt, $17.5 trillion overall. 1.13 trillion of that is a record amount, and it's on credit cards. Plus, more people are falling behind on their payments because despite the strong jobs market, consumers are facing higher prices and much higher interest rates.
What did you ask? What did you talk about with the president?
Well, first of all, I only expected to be there for like 5 minutes. He showed us all these photographs, and, you know, it was really amazing to me because, you know, I was invited to the Carter White House, and I came, and then I came to the Obama White House, but I never was invited into the Oval Office, and it was a large gathering. So this one was really extra special.
All right, sir.
So, yes.
Biden bring up Star Wars too, sir?
Well, you know, I called him Mr. President. He said, you can call me Joe. And I said, can I call you Joe-B-Wan Kenobi?
What the fuck? This is like one of the most cringe things like I've seen in the political sphere this year. Joe-B-Wan Kenobi. You know, out of Star Wars, one of my most liked people was Obi-Wan. How dare this fucking bastard make that comparison? How dare he? Like, it looked like shit about to start falling off his head. Look like his eye might pop out from all his booster shots. And he want to sit up here and compare Joe Biden to Obi-Wan Kenobi. How fucking disrespectful can this loser get?
No, you cannot joke about that.
Yeah, that's not funny. You can call me Joe. And I said, can I call you Joe-B-Wan Kenobi?
Oh my God, somebody is fucking hilarious.
Beyonce's
This shit is insane.
records.
It's time to build back better.
This news exclusively on CBS News. The Biden administration is considering a plan to allow some Palestinian refugees to come here to the United States.
We want everybody
What?
to come in. Come on in, everybody.
The
Come on
fuck?
in. Yes, you killed 9 people, but we think you're going to be much better now.
That's according to internal federal government documents that were obtained by CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez. According to the plan, some Palestinians fleeing the war would be offered a permanent safe haven here in the U.S.
Permanent safe haven here in the U.S.
That seems fucking really odd to me, though, man. Joe Biden unfreezes funds for Iraq. Iraq funds Hamas. Hamas goes over into Palestine. They fucking attack Israel. Goes back into Palestine. Israel starts attacking Gaza and Palestine. Destroys it with American dollars and funding from Joe Biden. And now Joe Biden is inviting the very same people that he funded to get destroyed over to be Americans permanently. Now this is fucking weird. From my point of view, looking from the outside, it seems like it was a concerted effort to destroy Palestine and Gaza for Israel, and then just replace the people, like just bring the people over here. It seems to me like it's a kill two birds with one stone thing for Israel and America governments. Well, at least the Biden regime. Because not only do you get an influx of Palestinians over here and new Democrat voters, 'cause I'm pretty sure he's going to flood them with money and resources too. So you get Palestinians, you get all these other people in over here into your Democrat shitholes that every American decided to leave. Israel gets more land with Gaza and all this other place that they're going to be spending, rebuilding up. And I'm pretty sure a lot of like Jews and stuff going to move into that land. Or at least, like I said, all this shit, you won't be able to tell what's going to happen until it actually comes in the future. But that's how it kind of looks to me. Like it was just a concerted effort to destroy that place, man. Two birds, one stone. America gets a lot of new immigrants, and Israel gets more land. But I could be wrong, man. That's just my opinion. But like I said, I could be wrong, but that's just how it kind of seems to me.
Oh, God. Wow. Wow. Okay.
And one option under consideration is to allow those who have immediate family members who are either American citizens or permanent residents to enter the country if they pass various background checks first.
Insane.
The plans would require coordination with Egypt, which has so far refused to allow large numbers of people from Gaza to cross the border into that country.
I wonder why that is. Made it myself.
Yeah, mine are homemade too. Oh, come on! Come on! Is that all you got? Is that all you got? Come on!
Come on down.
The literal beginning of the end of America. And everybody's just sitting around. Trump deranged syndrome overload. Oh God, this girl done had another breakdown. Oh God.
The annual White House Correspondents' Dinner is one of the symptoms, one of the signs of a healthy, functioning democracy. A one night only hiatus from the normal in Washington and an opportunity to suspend those more formal aspects of the relationship between a president and the news media. It's a coming together, and at its core, the president doing everything right celebrates and honors a free press. Behind the levity, though, there was something darker, a darker undercurrent, if you will.
I just don't fucking get. I know these people are fucking retarded, but how do they just get up here every day and just shield for such a person doing a fucking terrible job? You can't even defend this fucking dude. And they just find some way, somehow, like, these people are fucking resilient. If they were this headstrong in any other industry, like, if women were this headstrong in any other industry aside from journalism, they'd be top of the fucking list. You wouldn't have to worry about equality if they work this fucking hard in other industries. As they working for Joe Biden and covering up, making excuses for him. I've never seen effort like this in my fucking life. This shit's crazy. These crazy motherfuckers deserve an applause, man. I gotta give it to them. They get up every day and just cover for this fucking lying shitbag and just come up with like the most insane shit to cover for. Like, it's no way to cover for them, and they just somehow, some way come up with the weirdest shit, man. Resilient.
A point that the president had to make, and it was more profoundly serious. Because at this exact time next year, depending on what happens in November, 7 months from now, we can't say for certain that there would even be a White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I will tell you, this dinner is so tight. It's so uptight, right? This dinner is sadder than Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured President's Department, right? Look at him with the white tuxedo. He doesn't like me too much, right? But I will tell you,
man, this dude does a great fucking Trump impression. Who is this guy?
Chinese apps are being banned. It's horrible. We have to post our David Peckers on Snapchat now. That's what they're saying.
Boo this man!
Because at this exact time next year, depending on what happens in November, 7 months from now, we can't say for certain that there would even be a White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I don't care!
And he promised a bloodbath when he loses again. We have to take this seriously. 8 years ago, you could have written off it as just Trump talk, but no longer, not after January 6th. So tonight, I'd like to make a toast.
I'm so sick of this fucking skin suit. I'm so sick of this fucking skin suit. It's clear that Donald Trump was talking about the auto industry and every other fucking aspect of business in America when he was talking about the bloodbath shit. And this bastard's still gonna run on that. No matter how many people tell him to his face he full of shit, he's still gonna run on that. Write it off as Trump talk. That's gonna be a bloodbath. Bitch, it's been a bloodbath since you've been president, bitch. But mostly kids and shit suffering from that shit. Like, these people are fucking unreal. And you know what's crazy? Like, a few years ago, I actually tried to stop cussing. I really tried. Like, I'm telling you, like, I really tried to stop cussing. And just, fucking society has just gone so far left, like, I just can't help it anymore, and I stopped trying to help it. Fuck these people.
To a free press, to an informed citizenry, to an America where freedom and democracy endure, God bless America.
I've seen that toast a bunch of times, but it landed very differently this year. Because depending on what happens in November, 7 months from right now, this time next year, I might not be sitting here. There might not be a White House Correspondents' Dinner or a free press. While our democracy wouldn't exactly fall apart immediately without it, the real threat looms larger. A candidate with outward disdain, not just for a free press, but for all of our freedoms and for the rule of law itself.
TDS. Does anyone know what TDS is? Correct. Trump derangement syndrome.
Because depending on what happens in November, 7 months from right now, this time next year, I might not be sitting here.
And that's some great news. Hopefully she's not, man. Hopefully she's definitely not sitting there. Hopefully she's on a couch watching everybody else celebrate with no fucking job. Because she lied and just fucking looked like a lunatic her whole entire time on the fucking news. Good riddance.
Suspect has increased speed to 120, 140 miles an hour. Do not lose him. This is Maystar Third on an Apache. 150, 160. He's gone.
These people are fucking lunatics, man. What happened to Michael Douglas? What the fuck happened to Michael Douglas? Yeah, I miss a lot of stuff. Chris Christie. What did Fatso have to say, man? He's still talking. You think he'd be somewhere at the Planet Fitness for now? Let's see what Michael Douglas, man.
So you and Biden are about the same age. What do you think? Are you one of those people who wished he had bowed out, let the field choose somebody else? How do you think about that?
Well, I think that I walk a little similar to him, and the people that I've talked to and everybody that I have say he's as sharp as a tack. He's fine.
Oh my God, man!
With everybody that I have. Say he's as sharp as a tack. He's fine.
Can I show you something? I see an economy that grows from the middle out and the bottom up, where the wealthy pay their fair share, so we can have child care, paid leave, and so much more, and still reduce the federal deficit and increase economic growth. Folks, imagine what we can do next. 4 more years.
Look how he's trying to sell the destruction of your fucking life on you. Like, literally. He's trying to sell your destruction of your fucking life on you. Piece of shit, motherfucker.
Years. Pause. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Wait a minute.
4 more years. Pause.
4 more years. 4 more years. For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, he will read.
4 more years. Pause. Are you ready to choose unity over division, dignity over hate, truth over lies? Are you ready to choose freedom over democracy?
He's as sharp as a tack. He's fine.
So whether you love me or hate me, you gotta vote for me.
You think I don't want to? I can't.
That shit is crazy. Look, China Joe. I don't even remember looking at that one. I don't even remember looking at that shit.
Hey, everyone. I'm Joe Biden's husband.
And so while Donald Trump created this moment, Ron DeSantis stood in this moment, and the Republican legislature in Florida helped create this moment. And so what are we Florida Democrats going to do in 2024? We are going to vote. We are going to take back Florida, and we're going to make sure that the true champion for reproductive health care, and not just reproductive health care.
Wait a minute.
We are going to take back Florida.
Bullshit.
So the whole world's looking, and they're looking to see how we handle ourselves in this election. Not just in whether we win or not, but how we handle ourselves. And one of the things that, for me, I got involved when I was a kid in electoral politics out of the civil rights movement. And,
oh my God! Look, she had to scratch her neck on that.
One person at a time.
She know he lying.
During the 60s, I was, in fact, very concerned about the civil rights movement. I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved. In what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma.
Who the fuck is they?
I was not anywhere else.
I got involved when I was a kid in electoral politics out of the civil rights movement.
One of you is lying.
Both of them. I tell you what. And by the way, is that right?
The only reason I have a pension is because of you.
Well, we did get that done.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
So the only reason I have a pension is because of you, sir. So what the fuck has he done since he been in office to keep your pension? You shiny head bastard.
Besides, I used to drive an 18-wheeler.
Lies. Oh, lies!
A few moments later.
Are you ready to protect freedom? It was Donald Trump who ripped away the rights of freedom of women in America. It'll be all of us who restore those rights for women in America. And when you do that,
shut up, old man.
That will teach Donald Trump and extreme MAGA Republicans a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women of America. I mean it. Don't mess with the women of America. I mean it. And folks, in a sense, I don't know why we're surprised by Trump. How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted? How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
That's crazy.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Told on himself, man. He said, how many times does Donald Trump have to prove that they can't be trusted? That's crazy, man. The truth will always find its way out, man. Always. Start streaming on here every day, though, guys. Might get back on here later on to check out some more stuff. 'Cause I know I missed a lot, but just wanted to get on here and stream for a little while since I had a nice little open Sunday. And I don't know, I'm gonna try to, at the least I might try to pull an hour on here a day if I can, you know, at the least. But appreciate everybody for stopping through, you know, came to check me out during the stream, on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. So shout out to everybody. And man, we got a country to save, guys. This shit is getting ugly about a day. Trump 2024, man, take America back. Y'all seen it like I seen it. How about?